Hello everyone, I am Dr. Atesi Rai, Assistant Professor of Physics, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Welcome back to the lecture series on Advanced Engineering Physics, where I was discussing about the introduction about laser technology. So in this previous lecture, I have discussed about what is laser, then evolution of the laser technology, then I discussed about different transition process, which is absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. Then after I have derived this Einstein's AB coefficients. So till this point we have discussed in this last result or last lecture. So these results already we have discussed. So now I will continue this video lecture by discussing few properties of laser. So what are the properties of laser? There are mostly 4 important properties of laser, which is laser is monochromatic. That means all the waves of the laser, it travels with same frequency or same wavelength. That means laser is monochromatic. All the waves travels with same frequency or same wavelength, and that means a particular material, if we are using to produce a particular laser, that will have a single color. Monochromatic means single color. Then second property is directionality. Laser is highly directional in nature. So we can see like whatever the normal LED light we are using at our home, that travels in all the direction. That is divergent. That light is divergent in nature. But whenever we are considering laser, laser travels in a single direction. That is known as the directionality nature of the laser. Laser is highly directional. Then the third property is coherence. What is coherence? What is the meaning of coherence? Coherence means all the waves traveling through that in particular beam of wave, they travels with same phase or constant phase difference with respect to space and time. So what is the meaning of coherence? All the waves are in same phase or constant phase difference with respect to time and space, So there are two types of coherence. One is temporal coherence and another one is spatial coherence. So what is this temporal coherence? Temporal coherence means like the phase correlation, like if we are taking 2 points at different times, that time there will be a phase correlation at different time. So let us consider two waves are moving. So like one laser beam is there and that consists of number of beams. So these are two waves which are traveling in this forward direction. So what happens? So if we are taking different time, like I have taken, like we can consider either some space, that means any point on that wave, and we can see the movement of that wave, and we can also at different time also we can consider. So let's I have taken a particular space, this point only, and I am taking this at different time. So let's at time t1 we can see the crust. So whenever this particulates, I am considering that this wave is moving, so this crust is coming at that particular time t1. So if I am considering this time t2, so there is a specific phase correlation, that if time t2, then again this trough is coming, and same for other waves also. Like there is a specific correlation between different time, and also there is a spatial coherence. What is the spatial coherence? That means there is a specific phase correlation between different points at a specific times. And in simple way we can say that what is this coherence? All the waves are traveling in same phase or constant phase difference. That means all the crust and trough will coincide on each other. So like whenever a lot of waves are traveling, we can see all the crust and trough are traveling at the same point. Like if I am considering a particular time, that time either we'll get like this is T1, this is T2 and T3, three different time. Like at that time only all the crust of the waves will come. Okay, so this is known as same phase. This is same phase. Or when we are considering the case that constant phase difference. So what is the meaning of constant phase difference? So whenever the crust of one wave is coming, the trophus of other wave is coming. So that is known as like a constant phase difference. Okay, that is a constant. So whenever crust of the first wave, this is first wave, this is a second wave. Whenever the trough of first wave is coming, we are getting the crust of other wave. Again, whenever it is crust of first wave, that time trough of the other wave. So that time, so it is like a constant phase difference. It is maintaining. So it is maintaining a constant phase difference. So as I told, in this temporal coherence with a specific time, we are getting like same phase or specific phase correlation we are getting. So what does it lead to? This temporal coherence will lead to a specific frequency or specific wavelength. It will lead to specific frequency or wavelength. Like because the frequency is related to wavelength, nu is equal to frequency, nu is equal to c by lambda, where lambda is the wavelength and c is the velocity of light. That's why as those both are correlated to each other. So as I told, this temporal coherence lead to specific frequency, and specific frequency or specific wavelength when we are getting, that time we are getting this monochromatic light. So this spatial temporal coherence lead to monochromaticity. And whenever we are taking this spatial coherence, which is the specific correlation at a constant time between different places or different places of the space, that time what it is leading? It is leading to highly directionality. So this is leading to directionality. Or we are getting a focused beam of light. Focused beam of light. That's why we are getting a sharp or focused beam of laser light due to this spatial coherence nature of this laser. And what does it lead to? It lead to few applications like for cutting, we are using this laser, or in this like whenever we are using in this any medical field or anywhere, due to the highly directionality in nature, we are using this spatial coherence nature of this laser beam. And the last point is highly intensity. Like high intensity is one of the properties of the laser, due to what we are using this laser light for cutting in mechanical field also, like the hard materials which are like diamond also we can cut by using this laser. Okay, so this is due to the high intensity, as I have discussed in the previous lecture. Like in laser, in every step when we are considering the lasing action, the number of photons are being multiplied, and in the output side of this laser we are getting a highly intense beam of light. So there are mostly 4 properties of laser which are very important to know about the applications of laser, which is laser is monochromatic, that means it have a single color, it is unidirectional, which is a highly directional property of the laser, it travels in a single direction. Then third one is laser is coherent, that means all the waves will travel with same phase or constant phase difference. And the last point is it is highly intense. These are the 4 properties of laser. Then when we are constructing a laser, let us consider what are the essential components to construct a laser. So first thing is the active medium we require, then after we require some pumping source, and we require some optical resonator. So like next I will discuss about different method of pumping. So before that I will just briefly telling what is this pumping. Like we require stimulated emission, because laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. That's why we require more number of atoms in the higher energy level. Okay, in order to get this more number of atoms in the higher energy level, we need to send them. But already in the last lecture also I told, it is the nature that all the atoms will be in the ground state. So there is Boltzmann's law of distribution, but I'll discuss next. According to that law, more number of atoms will be in the ground state in compared to the higher energy level. That's why, but in order to get laser, we need more atoms in the higher energy level. That's why what we have to do, we have to send these atoms from lower energy level to higher energy level. Okay, that's why we need some external energy to do this mechanism, which is known as pumping. So we need some pumping source and we need some active medium. Of course, laser, whenever we are considering laser, we are doing this transition of atomic level of specific atoms or specific molecular system. So which molecular system this atomic level transition occurs, that we use as the active medium. Then we need some optical resonator. That means we need to focus that light and we need a sharp laser output. At this laser output, sharp light we need, which is like monochromatic, highly intense, coherent, and having high intensity. Okay, so what we are using, so along the optical axis, two sides of that laser, we are placing two mirrors. One is totally reflecting mirror, which is 100% reflecting mirror, and the other side we have a partially reflecting mirror, and inside we are placing the active laser medium, and out of that we are using some pumping source. So this is about all the how we are producing this laser light, and some common types of laser examples are like gas lasers. Here active medium is this helium neon, and wavelength which we are getting is around 632.8 nanometer, which is bright red in color. And the example for the solid state laser is ruby laser and Nd:YAG laser, which is neodymium yttrium aluminum garnet laser, whose wavelength is around 694 nanometer, which is also in red. This is for ruby laser, and this 1064 nanometer light we are producing, which is in infrared rays, for this Nd:YAG laser. And for semiconductor laser, we are using the active medium as a gallium arsenide, which is emitting the radiation 840 nanometer, which is in infrared range. And for a liquid laser, which is a dye laser, there we are using the active medium as organic dye solution, and here we can get tunable emission of various wavelength and frequency. Then let us consider the global laser market segment. So commonly, currently what is happening, so we are using laser in diverse field. So in industrial cutting these days it have 19% demand index, and in medical surgery laser have 75% demand index, and in fiber communication we have 60% demand index, and for this scientific research there is 45% demand index for this laser. This is why like we can think that what is the importance of knowing about how we are producing laser, what is the benefits of knowing about laser. So these are like globally in this modern physics and in research and technology also we are using laser in lot of fields. Let us consider what are the diverse applications of this laser. So like a few applications I'll discuss here. So let us consider in medical field. So in medical field like precision eye surgery, skin treatment, and non-invasive procedures, we are using this laser, because what is happening, laser is highly directional in nature and it is focused. So as it is focused at a single point, so precision laser surgery we can do for some specific treatments. And again, let us consider this industrial field. In this industrial field, as I told, due to this high intensity of laser, we can use that for cutting process and welding process, and 3D printing of complex components also we can do by using these lasers. And let us consider this communication field. So these days the communication field is highly replaced with this optical fiber communication system. So because what happens in optical fiber communication, we are making our signal into light, and that light we are making to pass through these optical fibers, and that mostly we are sending this laser light. And as laser is a very highly directional and highly focused, that nature we are using here for this optical fiber communication system, and as light travels with the highest speed, that's why we are getting fast communication by using this optical fiber communication system. And in addition to that, in space technology also we are using this laser for inter-satellite communications, like whenever laser light can go from one satellite, then it will reflect back. By using that time period of what it is traveling, we can find out the distance, and also for communication also we can use this laser signals because of this high directionality and going in the high intensity of this laser. Okay, these are all the applications of this laser. So for the summary, in this last two lectures, like today's lecture and the previous lecture, I have discussed about what is laser, which stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Then after, I have discussed about different kind of atomic level transition, which is spontaneous emission, then stimulated emission, and absorption process. And I have derived the expression for Einstein's coefficient, AB coefficient, where we got this relation that B12 is equal to B21. That means the rate of spontaneous stimulated emission and rate of absorption are same. And the second relation we got A21 by B21 is equal to 8 pi h nu q by CQ, which is the coefficient between this spontaneous emission to stimulated emission. Then after, we have discussed about different properties of laser. So what are the different properties? Laser is monochromatic, unidirectional, then it is highly intense, and it is coherent. So all these four properties I have discussed. Then after, we have discussed few applications of laser, such as in medical field, in communication system, and in industrial field. So this is all about the preliminary things we should know about this laser. So I will continue my lecture series on these lasers in my next lecture. So this is all about the introduction to laser. Thank you all of you.